right, everyone, welcome back. I'm excited to be here. We are once again, at full capacity. Just a few minutes left before the tournament starts, and while I am doing that, do a little quick refresh to make sure everything is good. I wanted to show you who is in store for today, who is going to try to go for these uniques, and I will make sure I'm testing to make sure my sound is sounding right. Looks like it is fantastic. It is just me solo here. So Tet the Totem with 574 victory points being on top of the ladder here. Ravon, El Wiwi, Lord Judah, Sigalat, all of which are over 400 in terms of their elo. Aragorn, Magraboy, Farmax, Annie Lermy, Pailish, Leah Rising, HTSA, Ect Pass, and Marble, all of which are 300 plus. Welcome to you, and welcome to all of you that have joined us today. Just a couple of quick words of advice. I have put in the Adventure Pass information on the tournament chat. You'll be able to see it here on the screen at the moment. I have also made sure that I advised everyone we have got 10 uniques on the line today. First and second will get 3 uniques given to them. Third and fourth will get 2 each. The 10 uniques being distributed among the 4 undefeated players that will be playing today. The other thing is, make sure as you're picking your decks that you still use your standard format, but still make sure that you adhere to the NUC or no unique rules. Next week, we'll be able to make the change where we'll set up the tournament under the no unique banner, meaning that you won't see those decks available to you to be able to be played. And that is going to be great. That is fantastic news for us going forward. But let us see what is in store for us as we count down. It looks like we are starting now. The tournament is live. I will go see which people are available for us as we get through the first few tables. Looking at it here, I am going to go to table 6, which is MLD against Marble. Looks that that table has started, or at least those people have joined the tournament. So as I click through, if it lets me, there we go. We are able to see that. This is going to be great. Let's go to the game, and we will put ourselves in that position. It looks like I have not set up everything appropriately, waiting for people to join the tournament. It's not flowing through for me, so I'm just trying to figure out what is going on. I'll see if I can refresh that for you. Oh, nothing flowing through, so not sure what is going on. I will select another table to see if that actually does help me while we are getting things going. All right. Let's have a quick look-see to see what is going on for us. So not sure what was happening there. Looks like table 1 may be working for us. Let's see if that flows through appropriately. It is a little slower for me right now, so let's figure this out. Looks like this is actually showing through the way we need it. Fantastic. I'm excited for here. And we will be able to see what is going on. Trey the Nomad against Aragorn here. American against the Frenchman. We have got Traced against Kojo. Almost a classic battle. What will happen here as we get into the first mode? We do know this is actually a really great start for Kojo, being able to use the Suha Korgan operative on turn 1, meaning that the Axiom Salvager will more than likely not be able to be played out. The question here is, what do you actually what are you able to remove? You will only get the choice of removing the Axiom Salvager, because the Capellia, based on its ability, the moment it goes into reserve, gets back out on the field, so you won't get the chance to remove it 1 for 1. But what it does do, it stops any of the triggers from Traced actually occurring. That also won't enable so by Capellia coming out at the time it does, actually it's not right now when I go to reserve from your hand, so when it comes out, that will be the first trigger. That is not exactly what Trey the Nomad wants in this case. Aragorn, very, very smart in using that Suha. And now that he is first player, he'll be able to see what he can do to trigger some more benefits for them. But it is still very much even at a 1 for 1. Okay, and once again, I just wanted to repeat, 4 different people will be able to get uniques. All 4 undefeated players will get the chance of doing it. First and second per BGA will receive 3 uniques each. Third and fourth per BGA will receive 2 uniques each. Once again, that is if I don't hear anything about someone using uniques. Now, if you do have a unique in your deck, my ask is that you do not play it. If it is played, that will you will forfeit the benefits as we transition to the new deck composition. I hope everyone hasn't got issues here. Really good use of the Haven Bouncer, really making Trey the Nomad look to have less cards available to them, not able to trigger as quickly, but just remember, a sabotage during gameplay, during the afternoon, does enable Trace to actually trigger. This is actually a very good play in terms of using the Lyra Chronicler just in the right mode to make sure it stops the Buddha from being played, though you do have one stat available. Do you waste the Suha? I don't think there's a need. Looks like we are going to get a pass from Aragorn and then a second pass here. Really, really slow in terms of the trigger right now. We're going to go into day 3 with only one trigger available for Trace and Rossum. They do need the 5 to make it so that their card advantage triggers, their card advantage becomes live. But just with a Lyra Chronicler, you don't even have to spend the resource to get the resupply, trigger yourself up 1, get another card available to be able to be played. So there is potential by the end of today, depending on how many cards get played and what they have got in hand, at least get up to trigger 3, potentially more depending on what comes from hand, if anything comes from hand, to their reserve. No, so let's look at it. What will Aragorn have in store for Trey the Nomad here as we progress? Once again, I am extremely grateful for the community. I want to say thank you to each of you that has joined today's tournament, that has joined us on the cast. We appreciate you all showing up in support of the tournaments that myself and others are trying to run to stimulate the growth of Altered within the Americas. So not just in North America, not just in the US, but across the Americas. This is a time zone suited to us. Yes, it's a little bit more catered towards the East Coast than the West Coast, but it is something we want. Really, really useful card. So what we're going to see, Keelon Elemental being played out, putting something in reserve. Haven, Bravos Bastion also coming out, showing their hand a little bit with the Rage. 1 cost Rage from hand, 2 costs from reserve. A very, very good card that does give you 2 boosts, but it only gives boosts to cards that have not got fleeting to begin with. So let's see, is there anything that can be done? Really strong use of the Foundry Armorer in being able to almost make it sure that they can win on not necessarily 2 sides. They will go 1 for 1 yet again, and Trey the Nomad is looking to get out of water, being a hard one for them from the looks of it, as opposed to doubling up on the other side, where they would have already had a fair amount of resources, a fair amount of stats available on both forest and water. What do we have? What do we have here? So we're going to look at here, that's really 3 resources with the Haven Bouncer, 2/2/2. Really economical is the way that I'd look at the way Aragorn is playing. Very limited use of their cards in hand and in reserve, making sure they have many more options available to them. The Suha is great. It's a 1 cost, especially when it comes from reserve. It is coming in for 2/1/1, which will be very useful. Not in today though, because they are not in any forest. They're only in mountain and water, so not as useful as you'd like it. But it's still a 1 cost 1 stat for the ones that they need, depending on where it's being played. And looking at what we've got here from Trey the Nomad, we'll see what they can do, because it's still even days, just not many cards in hand. What we have, it's been a great week. Lots of announcements coming from Equinox. I think the coolest one saying we have new formats on BGA. I think that is great to be able to get some new formats. So Singleton, it is very different to the Singleton that you're probably used to, but we have been advised from the Singleton team, the Spaghetti Alt team, that they will be changing the rules of engagement that they have traditionally played to actually balance out, to be in line with what Equinox is recommending as a, how would I put it, as a format that they absolutely believe in. Oh, and Traced here, getting out a Brass Bug Hub, not something you see traditionally. Do we have any removal available for Kojo and Buddha? I'm not sure if we can. This is going to be fantastic in the sense that they'll have lots of cards, and we have got a removal straight away, not normally seen in Traced. Mana Eruption being used to get rid of the Brass Bug Hive. What it does mean, though, is that Kojo is behind by 1 resource going forward, and there's still a potential here that we may get a double advance from AEG Aragorn if they're able to get 2 more stats, 3 more stats in. They are going to get even stats, so that is no one moving forward. Actually, it's still moving. No one's moving forward on the hero side and companion side. Aragorn is ahead, but will that 1 mana differential make a big difference for them? We will wait and see. Unsure what will happen here. I think Trey the Nomad is looking okay despite being down 1 card at the moment. On the other, 1 mana at the moment. On the other side, we have Aragorn with the Leviathan Spotter available to them. And just as a reminder, what you do when you do play it from reserve, if you reveal a character that you have in your hand that is 4 cost or more, you can draw an additional card. This has been usually the most difficult thing for Bravos historically, is being able to card draw. There is a number of cards available to them now that give them that ability, both of which come from reserve though. So let us see what will Trey the Nomad do to try to claw this differential back. The good thing for them is, at least if they do decide to play the Lyra Chronicler, it is in a good zone. It can actually be very useful for them on the companion side. But choosing not to do that right now, because they need to get Trace Trigger up 3 right now, potentially going 4 if they discard the Lyra Chronicler. Really looking to see what will happen. And is Aragorn happy enough to just go 1 for 1 the rest of the way? And what we are seeing, showing Priya, one of my favorite cards. Actually, I have said to my co-host in A Hero's Guide to Asgartha, Nick, that this is my favorite art. I just love the fluoro colors. It looks great. Has been shown. Trey the Nomad has actually approved it in the sense that he has said, I have seen the card, I know what you have shown me, and we will continue to progress into today. Where will this change? Is it a matter of choosing to play the Rastbug Hub? Will that be Trey the Nomad's undoing, or will it become Aragorn's undoing, given that they are 1 mana below their opponent here? And what we are seeing is a double progression potential, and we'll see what ends up happening with the last few resources being played by our Trace player, so Trey the Nomad. At least 1-0 right now, depends on what is going to get played. And what we are seeing here is Bravos Tracer having to become fleeting upon play. That means you cannot use the Rage on any card that you've got. And we are seeing here again another single card use with Foundry Mechanic. Enough stats to be able to move forward. And we are seeing there that nobody balancing it out. No one is progressing on today. And I think the longer this game goes, if the differential of mana continues, there is more a chance that Trey the Nomad using Trace will give you the benefits that you need. Trace will be online from basically this day forward. So we are now entering day 6. Trace will be online the moment you play or discard the Foundry Mechanic. Question will be, can they claw it back quickly enough? I am not sure. So good question here. Guy trying, when you create a tournament, are you able to choose NU as the game mode for the format? You can, but anything that was set up before the announcement came means you couldn't change it. You couldn't change the game mode. So what we'll do is, going forward for any new tournaments, we will. I know that Quet's made an announcement on the Singleton format that is happening tomorrow, that he basically had to restart it again. Rechange. So those people, the reason I didn't do it is for those people that had already registered. It would mean canceling their registration. They would have had to register again. And as you see, we are sold out today, as was a lot of the Singleton. But given the people, the drive for Singleton with the European players, they were able to quickly join it up. And I think with Singleton, because of the major change in the way that that's done in the deck composition, you actually had to start the tournament again and set it up in the appropriate manner. Now, what I'm looking forward to with this going forward is that when I select the decks, I only see those decks that I've put under the no unique format. And it will tell you it's legal or not legal when you're putting it on the app. I think that's great. One of the hard parts that I found, though, is if I have a NUC deck, a no unique deck already built, I couldn't transfer it and change the composition of it to, say, standard into no unique. I had to start again. So that's a little bit difficult, but that is the way that it was rolled out. I'm hoping things become a little bit easier in the future. What we are seeing here, though, Trace basically getting rid of the additional boost that would have happened through Rage. Not much value, but it will stop the Buddha from getting more bonuses from what was being played for very cheap. Armor Jammer, really, really useful in this case. We're not some very different cards being played And right now, what we will see is Priya, just as a reminder, when my expedition moves forward, create an aerolith token in your landmarks. That will allow them to have 2 landmarks, and the next day Priya will be able to be played with the additional boost. And what we are seeing here is a block. Bit more economical from Trey the Nomad. Do they want to bring something else out into the reserve? This is a really great card. Axiom Reprocessor. As a Trey the Nomad, you have got a very fun deck, very different to what we normally call standard, but that is fantastic. Let's see how you pilot it for the rest of the way. You're keeping up very well with one of the best players in the world, and it does allow you at noon to resupply, which is really Trace game. They'll be able to play a lot of 1 and 2 cost cards, and now they have access to an additional card available to them every day. The question will be, does Kojo and Buddha care enough to look for some level of removal, or will it not matter to them at all? I would expect Trey the Nomad to play out the Foundry Armorer first. Which side will they play it, though? Will they look to balance it out by bringing the Brass Bag and separating the Brass Bug both from on play, so you get 3 resources for 2/2 on either side? No, opting first of all to get the Trace Trigger, looking to play a card, the Axiom Salvager, at the common for 2 resources to get an additional resupply. This is actually forcing Kojo's hand to make sure that they play out the Priya first, and that will really help, I would say, Trey the Nomad choose where they're going to play the remainder of their cards, because the Armored Jammer is looming. Not necessarily, it may not necessarily be the card that they wanted to have, but we will see what ends up being played here. Do they try to balance out the 6? I don't think it's the right approach. I would probably go for the Brass Bug. Just solidify what you've got on the right-hand side. You're still going to force Aragorn to play something into reserve. Oh, fantastic. Keelon Burst being used, sending the card away, not being able to get a second Aerolith from its use. And you've still got 3 resources, potentially tying it up. It just depends on what gets used. Ouch. Haven Bouncer being played out. Oh, my goodness. Nothing can be done. It looks like Aragorn is going to get the single progression, and now they are 2 tracks ahead. Very, very smartly played. Very patient in the way that they decided to play out the bouncer. Really, really good. I love it. Good work on that front. Now, what can Trey the Nomad do? Knowing they have very, very little, I would still play out the Armored Jammer since you have enough resources, purely because you have to get rid of it at night and you don't let the Haven Bouncer be played out. But let's see what he does in terms of their next play. Did they actually pass? They may have passed. Just waiting to see here. If the passes happen, that's a little bit hard. Yeah, a guy trying. It's a bit of a bummer that wasn't part of the play, but that is that's how it is right now, unfortunately. Okay. So what we did see was the Aerolith being used. Yeah, I just don't know why you wouldn't just play the Armor Jammer to get rid of an additional card, given it wouldn't have cost you a thing. Now you're going to try to play against something that has an additional cost available to you, and we are seeing here that we've balanced out the game in terms of mana on both sides, as Trey the Nomad did not mana on a previous round, on last round actually. Oof. Tough days ahead. It's nice to be home though. Not sure if these are the best looking cards in terms of what you're looking to do with Axiom Scrambler, especially now that you've got Buddha out. Oof, it is an uphill battle for Trey the Nomad, getting the boost that they need. Not sure why they chose to bring, I guess, the cost base of Tiny Jin been smaller. We are going to sabotage the Axiom Scrambler being used to sabotage from reserve. Playing it from reserve as opposed to from hand, not sure. Halua, lovely card coming out. Really, is this the game point? 797 and 777. That is the reason why the Haven Bouncer was not used. Do we have another removal available to us? It doesn't look like that's the case, but because you're able to play out the Axiom Salvager, you are lucky. Look at that top decking, the Keelon Burst, to be able to play that out. That will allow them some level of flexibility, but not enough. It takes four or less. Actually, no, it cannot be used on the Halua. I misread that. getting everything, giving everything fleeting. The Halua does that. GGs are coming out. And once again, congratulations to Aragorn for getting the win. Now, as that, I loved it. That was really fun. I do like seeing different kinds of deck builds and seeing how they work. The the tinkerers, the creative minds. I am definitely not that. I look at a deck and then I change it up a little bit. So it was a little bit fun. And guy trying it wasn't very similar to the Sierra starter deck. It might have been. I'm not sure how it was built, but I also say if you don't try, you just don't know. And sometimes, like many of us play these games, and it's not necessarily about winning. It's just seeing, will a certain line work? Will it not work? And let's see what we have here. There is still a couple more players looking. No, we're not. We are already into round 2. So make my way as we progress here. Just waiting for people to select their tables, and we will get our round 2 going. So we did spend all time on there. Once again, I am going to go to table 1, which has got Folzokia against Special Builder. Let's see what we've got here as we make our way onto the table. They are still at the moment selecting their cards from hand, so I won't transition to that screen. So the other announcement that came out this week from Equinox was the basically how Seeds of Unity is going to be released. We do know that the 9th of February is when the stores are going to begin to get their product, and that following weekend is when we're going to be able to get pre-release. People that went through the Game Found are going to get their product potentially up to a week late. So let us transition here. We have got the first cards here. Folzokia is playing with Novenka and Blotch, and on the other side, Sierra, since that was already brought up, we've got Sierra here. A very good start with the Rare Foundry Armorer. 3 resources to bring out, 4/4/4 stats of value, and splitting it up over both sides. They're looking to get the double advance. It may be possible. What we are seeing, though, the Opera House has been played on the Novenka side. Very, very good card. One of the most useful cards for Lyra in the last set in Skybound Odyssey, to allow you to get more cards in hand if you reveal adequately. And in this case, with the common one, you need to reveal a spell. If you do, you're able to draw it. So very good value, though it has forced them to be behind by 2 at the moment. Oh, a guy trying. Yeah, I am not a Lyra player very well. I've started to use Fen a little bit in terms of getting some gameplay, but it's more as I switch to understanding how to play Festival. I think Festival as the surprise is very good. I would love to see an Aurak Festival build, not something that I have seen traditionally. Does not mean it won't occur, but I think it'd be really fun to be able to get that up and running, just because people do not expect it. Now, is it meta viable? Probably not, but you never know until you try. So I didn't know you played Lyra, and I should have known. We've had multiple discussions in the past, but let's see what we've got here. Fantastic card with the Ouroboros Inkcaster being used. Is that going to be enough? Are we going to get a robot? Is it going to be sacrificed? So Moonlight Jellyfish is very different in Axiom as it is in Izmir. In Axiom, you have to basically play out a robot if you can, then that allows you to sacrifice it. So when a robot joins your expedition, you may sacrifice, and you can get 2/2/2. And we are almost looking like there's going to be a double progression. Maybe not. Sleight of Hand being used. That's actually not a bad way of being able to recycle the card. And then bring something back into hand at the end of the day. But you don't have anything. 2-0 progression yet again. Folzokia really, really struggling in terms of being able to get anything on the line. Very well played with the boost and how they balanced the boost from Special Builder 32. Now, Special Builder 32, I'm not sure where you're from and where your local is. Hopefully you're enjoying not only playing online, but also getting a chance to play. Should we count the ones rolled? Yeah, I think that's the hard part. When you roll these ones, that is why I personally don't play Novenka in that while I don't mind a gamble, the gamble that potentially makes you lose the game is incredibly hard. But it's really good. And Crazed Ape, thank you for joining the cast as well. We appreciate you being on the game and hopefully playing as well. What do we have here? We are getting Ouroboros Inkcaster come out. Is it enough now for Special Builder to basically just focus all their efforts on one side of the board, making sure that, especially when they're going second, don't even worry where the first stats are being played. does Folzokwa have enough in their hand with 3 resources to actually do anything major? We are seeing a second Ouroboros Incaster come out. So 2/2 on both sides, potentially going to get a 1-for-1 depending on what Sierra has. This is a very interesting deck build, or maybe just the cards that have come up. No permanents yet. Nothing has shown up. And on that, look at that. Almost on cue, we are getting the Abandoned Depot, which allows you to draw. It also has the additional benefit, if I could just highlight it there, that you can also tap it, or so you exhaust it, to be able to basically sacrifice it to create a resupply. So when I'm sacrificed, you can draw, to draw a card with this 3-cost one as well. So not bad at all. Let's see what they do. At least this time they're able to get the +1 boost, but they do not have anything else that they can do. Really, they were hoping that they could anchor the card, and oh wow. We're going to get, I do say, Mechanical Training to me is one of those cards that almost feels like it should be exhausted when it's played, so you're not able to play it twice. But we do get a little bit of progression, 1 single progression from Vazokia, looking to return 2 cards, so they're not looking to lose any value. But there we still have Special Builder with Sierra, 3 cards in hand, a fantastic card, Mechanical Training, available to them. Wow. It is going to be rough. Look at what we've got. So what are we seeing here? Sierra now taking the lead. Are they looking to draw a card, or will they be looking to play a card straight away? Mechanical Training will allow you to basically draw the card and then wait to see what your opponent does, and then choose the opposite side. As we said, they are only 2 progressions away. Quite a fair bit of a lead against their opponent, who still has 5 progressions to be able to, actually 6 progressions to be able to claw back. Very much in hand for Special Builder, but you can never say never, right? You always have to wait till the very last minute. Opera House has missed. You're right. Opera House has given them no value, and neither has Nevenka's ability for what they're looking for. This time we were able to get a draw, so I will take that back. On cue, just looking to counteract me. Not sure if we're going to see much boosting, though, from Sierra in what we've got here. Another Ouroboros Incaster being played out. Looks like there has to be another permanent in hand for Special Builder. It just has to. But they are delaying it so they can get the 2/2 stats where needed. And then on the other side, Filzokian really not getting many characters that are incredibly useful at the moment. So using Sleight of Hand as an after you. So seeing what will they bring down, and bringing down the Sap Duende at the rare will give them a draw, but doesn't really help them in terms of what is out right now. But if there is anything that boosts, Bug Out Bag at 2/2, last play, getting an additional one, so you're getting 4 stats of value. Do we have anything from Volzokia? Even if it's even statted, they do have a chance of at least matching, and looks like that's what we're going to get once we trigger Nevenka's ability. Once again, just as a reminder, if it's a 1, that card, Anansi, will be sent to reserve. If it is a 6, it will get anchored. In this case, they get exactly what they need to claw back 1 more. So now we are looking at a 2-for-2. The question is, what do you bring back to hand from the Ouroboros Incaster? I would assume you're going to bring back Anansi in terms of, but yeah, it's in terms of makes the most sense. No, choosing not to. I see. I would have chose the Anansi, so then you can get the double boost. And now you are paying an additional resource when you do play it from reserve. Sorry, when you're playing it from hand. But rough going. But we have clawed back 1. It is now 5 advances to 2 for the win. Will Special Builder get the win in this rapid fire tournament? And I just want to say thank you to Gamers Guild in Arizona, who provides the prize support for today. So the top 4 players will also get, on top of getting their uniques, so 3 uniques for first, 3 uniques for second, and then 2 uniques for third and fourth. That's all the undefeated players. Every player that does also go top 4 will get a promo pack from me, courtesy of Gamers Guild Arizona. I do ask that you just reach out to me on the Discord. My name is Chili on the Discord, or Chills Ride as the original name was. So if you are able to do that, I will then open the pack with you live, take pictures of it, send it to you. You scan them into your collection. Yeah, that's exactly Guy trying. I was saying I don't know why you'd bring back the Sapduende. Um, I would have brought back the Anansi, but the Anansi does cost one less when played from reserve. So that may be the reason, is that I need to try to maximize what I have with the resources. But yeah, it's Filzokwa knows what he's doing much more than us. We are commentators to the game, and I'm sure there is a little bit of pressure going on when both these players had won their first game. If they win their second game, they are one step closer to getting those uniques. Oof. I need to get myself some Anansi uniques that give you the boost for both sides. And what we are seeing here, Axiom Puppeteer. When played from hand, you may sacrifice a permanent, and you are sacrificing the best of the permanents to use Brassbug Dropship, which will create 2/2/2 of value in Brassbugs on both sides of the table. Wow, really, really difficult to go there. 3 resources. Can you at least claw back one side and make it a 1-for-1? I'm really looking at the Anansi side here, the companion side. Do you have 3 resources of value? That will be helpful. Yes, being able to, you're at least stopping the progression, which is great. Another 1-for-1, which I do believe Special Builder is more than happy to go with to get that much closer. And very, very good. Now, what we will be seeing is Special Builder will have to reduce their their cards in reserve. Question is, what do you get rid of? In my mind, more than likely, you're going to get rid of the Axiom Puppeteer. Actually, maybe not. Both give you good value, but the Axiom Puppeteer cannot be played on the hero side. Actually, choosing to get rid of the Designer Drone just because it costs too much, keeping the 2 cost cards from reserve available, both which will give you 6 stats worth of value regardless. And on the other side, on Volzokua's side, what they do have is 1 card reduction as well as 1 return a card in reserve to your hand. So not sure how they're going to do that, given yeah, it's going to be a rough one. It is going to be rough because you've only got at least what we are seeing. We don't know what's in the hand. What we are seeing from Zokua is only 1 card that has water, meaning if actually on the other side, Axiom can't be used as well. Okay, thank you, MLD. You're saying that the adventure pass is incorrect. Okay, I'm going to find out what is going on there. If I put the wrong one, I will make the change right now. So I appreciate that. I will actually go on make the change. Let's see if I am disconnected for a second. I apologize. I'll make sure I put the right information on the tournament chat. So NUC Americas, we have got a chat here. The adventure pass. Did I put the wrong information in? Oh, January 7th. We haven't got the right information. You're absolutely right. Why is it not? I will send a message out. So Potato, who actually does this for me in terms of putting this in with Gamers Guild, can you please send the correct adventure pass info as what you sent is for last week? Thanks for that. I appreciate that, MLD, for that notice. I will make a note on the chat advising that we will rectify that. What it does mean that if we can't get it done in time now, I am going to put it on the tournament chat within Discord. So if you have played, you can do that there. I apologize. I should have verified that beforehand. I did not, as I just made my way here a few minutes before the tournament started, so I wasn't able to do the full validation. I just put the link in there, but I did not do my trust but verify, right? So nice work of the Sapduende, finally being able to get something out that will give you some additional boosts. Now we will see what's available. Sierra can slow play by being able to play both their cards late in the piece. They do have 2/1 costs available to them, meaning they're more than likely able to wait. But we do know that on the other side, Fezokia cannot play the Hathor from reserve. It's too much. They've only got 2 cost in value, and there's nothing there for them to activate the Hathor to return to to actually return anything to hand. Sorry, my nanny is just sending me a little message. Um, Let me just say at 4:55, please. Fantastic. Look at that. Multitasking. Got to tell the wifey that. Who says I cannot do more than one thing at a time? All right. Oof, oof. Now we are going to see, can we get this progression? No, getting a 1, another 1. Oh my goodness, Filzokia. The gods of the dice have not been with you. We are seeing Special Builder get the win. Looking to play it out. Actually, yeah, still not enough to be able to cover both sides. Well done to Special Builder getting that win. Wow. So, there we have. We are almost through. Let's see if there's any matches still remaining in this tournament for round 2. And I will make my way down to be able to see that. We do have El Wiwi against Beat Barry getting towards the end of their match. Let's join them live as we go through. I'll join the game and put us back onto tournament chat. What we are seeing here, of course, El Wiwi using his almost patented Fen and Crowbar decks. He does change it up almost every time, which is really good. We have got 2 cards that have been slept. I'm assuming that has been at the 2 Twinkle Twinkles that have been played. Those Twinkle Twinkles are really good when you play. Not only can you sleep something as you're looking to progress, then you can discount a card once they're played as well. So you're able to reduce it. And what we are looking here is, can there be enough available for them to be able to go forward and win? I do think El Wiwi may have this against Beat Barry, both very strong players here. El Wiwi has to choose a card. What will they do? Do they, like, you don't want to discount down. Like, oh, they're choosing to play the 1 cost, knowing they still have 2 cards to be able to discount, and there is very little available to them. We are getting a chance to see Dr. Frankenstein be played. Unfortunately, I don't think Beat Barry would have any cards in their reserve that will allow them to basically discount a card and end up playing the Amelia Earhart. So what they're choosing to sabotage and choose to sabotage one of the Twinkle Twinkle. Look, a third Twinkle Twinkle was in ad. My goodness, 3 cards being slept. The good games are going to come out. Double progression, even though they were behind. Well done, El Wiwi, getting the win on Beat Barry, the French against the Spaniard. And we're looking at here. And once again, just for good measure, Lyra Signet is going to be played out to give additional boosts to the Aloe Vera. Not sure if that was needed given they were already progressing, but they do get the full win. GG's coming out. Good job. Congratulations as we make our way. Well, just as we were watching the very end of that game, not bad at all. Like, there are so many good players in this game. The other thing of note, as you get to watch more and more of the tournaments and seeing some of the best, but also the emerging players, most games are very close. As you become more proficient in the game, how do you value that all you need to do is win by 1 stat? That is all you need is 1 stat. So hold the value in hand as much as possible. Don't overplay yourself. And be able to know when to strike, because most days you're just going to have a 1-for-1 progression. So, and we will make our way. Looks like the game is almost into round 3. We do have a couple more. Let's see as we put ourselves into table 3. And it looks like we are basically at end state, but I'm still going to be able to show this. Here we go. End state here. Amy Lermy against Leah Rising. Leah Rising, though, is out of time, with Annie Lerma not still being able to progress. But we are seeing here that the hunger has come out. No cards in hand from Annie Lerma. Basically, the perfect timing to get this. Gets the win despite being out of time. There was still 2 minutes on the entire game clock remaining. Leah Rising is now 2-0 against BZH's Annie Lerma. So, wow, we didn't get a chance to see that. Now, I've said a lot of stuff about my dislike of the hunger dynamic. And I would say I'm not I'm not. It's not that I don't like the hunger. I just think it's very easy, much easier than it was probably intended to be able to get out with the tiny gens. So for me, the tiny gens are the issue, not necessarily. Not necessarily hunger itself, given that costs a fair bit. And in talks with some people in the community, one of the questions was it would be nice if the hunger within Bravos was the common hunger, right, rather than the rare hunger, to make it just a little bit easier, not as oppressive on both sides, so costing just a little bit more. And I will respond to MLD. I've requested to get the new adventure pass. If it's not received in time, I will post on the Discord tournament chat that is part of AQZ. Thanks for letting me know. Okay, and I will make that note, so I will, for those that can see it, BGA tournament homepage, I am going to add a comment here. Adventure Pass is incorrect. Will have requested the new one, but if it's not received in time, it will be posted on the tournament chat on the AQZ Discord channel for the tournament overnight. Apologies, I wish it wasn't that much of an issue. We are basically, let me just do a quick refresh, about to get down to the round 3. We have got it. What that means here is we've got 8 players, actually looking 7 players at the moment. Leah Rising, Masterpel, Marble, Tet de Totem, El Wiwi, Overloss, and Special Builder, all of which have won their 2 matches. Interesting to see. It looks like someone that won matches has also dropped out. But let's go through here. So season, let's see which table we can see some players that we have not seen on table 3. Do a quick refresh, and we will go in. Let's have a look here. Masterpel against Overloss. See if we can get some of this game. They are still loading as we go through here. Loading, so that means they are picking their decks. So just give it a couple of minutes while they choose their opening hand, what they choose to mana, and we get a chance to see these guys in action. So just a few minutes while we do that. Appreciate everyone coming on board once again. The top 4 players will be able to distribute among themselves 10 uniques. First and second per BGA will get 3 uniques each. Third and fourth getting 2 uniques. Thank you and courtesy of Equinox. And on top of that, every player that goes undefeated today will also get 1 promo pack thanks to Gamers Guild Arizona. So thank you very much for giving that to us in this NUC Rapid Fire tournament, which is the fastest tournament that we've got in the game. What that means is 3 rounds, 20 minutes, 4 victors. Let's see who takes the cake today. And we are seeing Overloss, who is playing Sigismar. Normally I'm used to seeing them, I believe, play Gulrang as well, against Masterpel from Italy, so Germany against Italy. Thank you very much for joining the Americas tournament. Must be very late for you, but we are indeed grateful that you've chosen to join us and play and help us improve our game on our end, but also show us your own mettle and see how you end up on this. So, a guy trying, you have said, conversation with a local a week or so ago about Small Steps Giant Leap and how it used to make it so Izmir didn't need to gain advantage at any point, only go even. They wanted to revert of the rule change. Wow, okay. I think the rule change is right with Small Step Giant Leap. And one of the things that I always say is, in this kind of card game, there has to be toing and froing. You must be able to react to everything, which is why the whole ramping thing is really difficult for me to play against, or at least my mindset to be prepared against it, purely because what can you do against a ramp? There's no counter to ramp at the moment. Now, does that mean there won't be in the future? Absolutely not. There may be, and we're looking forward to I am looking forward to the day when there is some counter to ramping. You know, a negate is something that I've always talked about, something that stops the actions or the cards or the abilities of certain cards coming out. Can you do that? Of course, it has to be interacted with as well. It can't just be a spell that you can't do anything with. I still think people have that issue with the Small Step Giant Leap. The good thing is the calculation is later. You're spending a number of resources. Your opponent still has a chance to 2-0 you to get the victory, and the 1-1 may not get you enough. So looking at it here, so we are seeing a double progression. So both even here. We are moving into day 3 in the morning, and both players have moved one progression, so 1 for 1 and then 1 for 1 yet again. What will Overloss do to counter what Master Pel is doing with Fen and Crowbar? Now, I'm not sure if you wanted to show your hand by having Cloth Cocoon, looking like that may be what gets removed. No, they don't. They choose to remove the discount of the Ouroboros Inkcaster, basically saying that could match me somewhere. I don't want you to match. What do you want to do instead? We are getting the stage, which has now become, look, we've already seen it twice. It is a staple now in Fen and Crowbar builds. And 3 resources on either side. Is there going to be enough for Fen and Crowbar to be able to cover? Or are they going to just pass 2 cards in hand? Nothing really that useful. What you probably, yeah, nothing that useful unless you've got a Martingale in hand or a 1 cost that will give you two resources of value in either forest or in mountain. It may be a little bit difficult for them to be able to play. And Overloss may get the 2-0. And Nancy, thank you very much on that. Overloss, who's playing the game, saying, yeah, there is the potential for an Nancy to be played out that will give them 4 cost of, I guess, 4 stats of value. It has to be played, though, if they do play it on the companion side. No, choosing to play Sandman, what is going to get slept? What are you going to sleep? You've got to sleep the token on the companion, on the hero side. Sleep the token on the hero side. Get a 1 for 1. No, there's no point. There's no point sleeping. Oh. Unless you want to sleep your own self. You can sleep yourself. Geez, you're still going to get. You're still 2-1, right? And I actually spoke incorrectly. This stage does give you, when you play a song or artist, they gain 1 performance counter, and you can spend 3 of them to be able to remove fleeting. So from a song or an artist, and I completely forgot that the Sandman is an artist. Rough. 2-1. Ah, geez. And now you're getting even more benefits to Overloss. And one thing you don't want to add is additional fuel to any Sigismar player. As I am a Sigismar player as well, I love it. I love the ability of having multiple tokens out. This is not a deck that can build that easily, and we're not seeing anything here related to the festival build. But once again, we're barely starting this game. We're barely starting. We are only on to day 4 at the moment. Guy trying. So when you're talking about some quick reps in for a format that is now searchable on BGA, yeah, we can. The no unique. I think no unique format is fantastic. I really do. I love it. Now I am a proponent of uniques and what they can give you. I'm not a fan of some uniques that are incredibly difficult to interact with. But from a positive side, there is a lot of value to be had. Interesting that they've chosen to play out the Jack Frost as the first card to make the Sandman become basically unplayable from a perspective. Oof. Are we going to get a double progression? Is there going to be enough? Knowing that Overloss still has the ability of bringing out 2/2/2 more worth of value purely from the Order Spy. And on the Fen and Crowbar side, do they have enough? Do they have anything that can give them enough value? I'm not sure that they will. Are we going to see a pass? It's a rough one. Martingale, in and of themselves, they're spirit animals, so they're not going to be able to trigger the ability of the stage. It's not a song, it's not an artist. Choosing to say, are you going to play it out? Really forcing hands. And maybe that's what you've got to do. So Sigismar's only got 3 cards to play with next round. Potentially 4 if they choose to keep both cards that they draw in hand. We're looking at a pass also from Master Pel in this case. So very commanding lead here with loads of work to be able to be done by Master Pell to claw back 3 progressions. And once again, Overloss can just flood on one side, work towards what they need in the next day. And really, if I was playing as Overloss, I'd probably just put everything into the hero side, maybe, or actually everything into the companion side, and see if they force Master Pell to also have to play on the hero side, cover the one. And right now, let's see if the sleep function is going to be great. Starting with the 1-cost Orders Trooper, which means that they've got all 4 cards that can be played. All 4 of them are going to be 1-cost, potentially a 2-cost, 2-cost, and a 2-cost. The benefits of the stage are not really helping. They won't actually help what the game plan is today, given that it means... Oh, wow. Okay, choosing to play on the Sandman on the companion side. Oh, Skybound Odyssey being used. This basically is game over. Sleeping a character as well, playing out the Sandman themselves, playing out the Orders Trooper, sleeping the Sandman that Master Pell has put in place. Oh my goodness. Also removing Twinkle Twinkle. That is rough. 0 stats of value against 333 and 155. RGG is going to come out from Overloss, or from Master Pell, or is he going? Are they? I apologize. Going to do something with what they've got in hand? Oof. Unfortunately, not really helping. Getting rough, tough going here. Overloss, fantastically played. GG should come out shortly. Congratulations, as we are getting at least. See, not enough. The water is going to help you there, which is going to be very, very difficult. Double progression from Overloss gets the win. Congratulations. Wow. We are seeing a lot of different decks. I'm surprised. Normally I would have seen at least a Basira. I have not seen that. We have seen most of the other decks, though, in terms of that are most used in both the traditional standard format as well as in NUC. Now let's have a look here. I have not received the information on the I've not received the information on the Adventure Pass, so apologies on that. What I will do is I will put that information on the tournament chat afterwards. And getting the uniques from Equinox is taking us a little bit of time, just because 39 cards is part of the process to get things validated, and 39 cards is having an issue at the moment in being able to get their the stats up, and that's because there was some changing conditions that were enabled recently, meaning that you can now concede after you reach, I think it's day 4, and that caused a problem with the algorithm that was built. So we are looking to remedy that. The tournaments have been registered and they're ready to run. They just cannot be published. So once they are published, we'll be able to get those uniques out to those that won last week's tournament, because we capped out there, as well as this week's tournament as well. And we are seeing Marble against Leah Rising. Top table, both players here paying out to see who gets the 3 uniques, given they're already on table 1. I'd expect them to stay in position number 1, but potentially may not move. They may move down to table 2 or 3. So either 3 uniques or 2 uniques. So whoever wins this will definitely get one, just like we saw a moment ago with Overloss guaranteeing themselves some uniques in this game. And just a quick little bit of note, my little baby girl is going to join me in a couple of minutes. You'll see them on screen. I'll just give them an iPhone and they will be more than happy to play for 3 or 4 minutes while I finish up the cast. I will get things ready. And for you that are wondering, and nobody's asked, it is definitely Miss Rachel. That is the show that she loves to watch. So it looks like my little baby girl may be coming in now. Come in, sweetie. And you'll see that. And on cue, I will give her little Miss Rachel. Here you go, sweetheart. Do you want to take a seat while you watch this? Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let me get it all ready. And we are waiting here. So we got 5 triggers already on Trace and Rossum. And my little girl, so you see her just walking around the background. Haven, stay here, please. Come here next to me. Come sit next to me and be on screen. All right, we are getting the 1 cost Amelia Earhart. 1 for 3 is fantastic value. to be able to come out. There you go, sweetie. And if you get to hear a little bit of music, it is purely educational music that my little one is listening to as we get through to the last round. I'm just going to put this down just a little bit for you, sweetheart. All right. What will Leah Rising do with their Kojo deck, and what things do they have in store? I really love that that with the Trace and Rossum builds, the Aerolith Reef is so useful given so many people play very low to the ground. And with the ability of playing it out with Dr. Frankenstein, you can get a whole bunch of benefit from it. You can choose when to apply it. And I think in this case, while we may go for a 1-for-1, I do think Marble has the chance of double progression, even if it is a 2-for-1. The strength of the Dr. Frankenstein is going to be great, especially if you're able to play out the Haven Bouncer in terms of what you do. Looking like we're going to... not sure. That's a rough one. Because that boost that you've just given the Fire Rabbit can really be taken out from the Aerolith Reef. And what we're probably going to see is the Haven Bravos Bastion be played out first by Marble as another, basically an after you. And you can choose when you're able to get the benefits from the additional 2 boosts that are now going to come out from Dr. Frankenstein, meaning you're going to have a 5-5-5 stats out for 2 resources. You can play out your Axiom Salvager on whichever side you want, then look to see where your opponent plays. It is very much in Marble's hand in terms of how this game goes. Once again, we don't know what both players have in hand. We do know that Marble is more than likely not going to play a card from hand, but yet again, they have not activated the Traced and Rossum, so you don't know, do they have an Anansi that can cover a fair bit? But once again, you cannot play the Anansi as well as the Dr. Frankenstein. So 3 resources here. Guess the question is, if I was playing out Axiom Salvager on the hero side first, to block the advance, at least block it, you're forcing your opponent. Yep, and that is exactly what Marble ends up doing. And what a great resupply for them as well. Ready for the next day. This is going to be rough because looks like Kojo, Leah Rising in this case, may run out of resources for the next day. They do have to play out something. Potentially, what we're looking at is to get a 1-0. If you don't play out, if Leah Rising doesn't end up playing out anything on the hero side, it looks like they're passing, then it is going to be a 1-0. If Marble ends up playing the... playing out, yeah, exactly. Dr. Frankenstein on the hero side, getting the 1-0, getting to activate the Aerolith Wreath, so there's no progression. Really, we saw that coming. We're seeing it right now. Removing the Aerolith Wreath, using the Aerolith Wreath, but they can still play it out again. Can they play it out again? No, because they had passed already. That's what they were waiting on. So very smartly played. And now when Trace is ahead, it's very difficult to claw back. They have got so much available to them. Probably going to keep one of the Aerolith Wreaths, choose, and more than likely going to play the After You, which is the Frozen Delivery. Before you do that, activate your Trace and Rossum, see what you've got in hand. You've got lots and lots of choices. Both players have the potential of going up to 8. What will the Arising choose? Are they going to go down for the additional one? Thanks, the guy Train. That's my little one. That is our little haven, a little slice of heaven right there. I actually, so you're worried about different formats splitting the player base? I don't think so. I think one of the things that most players crave, and once again, this is only the second TCG that I played. I used to play Flesh and Blood, and I love going to the competitions around the US playing it. But you want sometimes variety, and I think what they've done with Singleton right now, I think is really interesting because it's not what many people, or the way that we initially thought of it, is just Magic / rebranded as Commander. It is not that. It is very different. We also don't have the card pool to be able to play Singleton appropriately when we've only got an average of 100 commons and 30 and 200 rares per faction. So what they've done is made it, commons and rares right now, and the same thing with the NUC format, adding in the exalted cards as well. And it makes sense to me. What NUC means to me is that you don't have the variance of one card that someone has that no one else in the world has. Every other card is accessible, so I'm okay with that. Some other members of my team at AQZ and also across the world through what I've read and heard, I didn't want that just because could people be priced out? Honestly, this is one of the cheapest games to get into and one of the best games to get into. You can buy the majority of your deck for less than $10. Come on, play it online. Yes, it costs a little bit more if you want to print it, but you only really the difficulty will be finding your rares. Oh, fantastic work with Marble, getting out the Avalanche, getting rid of even more cards. Looks like we're going to get rid of Buddha. We're going to get rid of the Haven Bouncer. Once again, it can be used and it will have a boost if it gets played out 3-3-3. But on the other side, what we're going to be looking at from Trace and Rossum is they can play out the Keelon Cylinder, so Keelon Elemental on the companion side, get the pass there, get the win. It won't be, they do need to play out one more thing. Actually, no, they don't. Haven Bravos Bastion will give them the additional boost and be able to cover what Leah Rising has put in there. And wow, just to be sure, we're going to get a pass, though, from Leah Rising, Marble getting the other side, and it may end up becoming a win. I was really surprised as well with the rules, but in speaking with Quetz, one of the cool things he said is that Equinox reached out to him, and they did tell him that they were testing new things and changes to it. And on the other side, there's an element of humility that Quetz and his team have put together in saying, we're adapting, we're going to change what we have rolled out to be in line with what Equinox has put out there, because it is now a format that is supported, and from a deck building perspective, that's really good. I'm interested to see what people do. I'm in the process of building a singleton deck right now, and it's not easy. It's actually incredibly complex to choose which ones do I want. My mindset goes, why would you ever play commons? But sometimes you need some level of uniformity, not so much random chance, and some of these cards having 2 ofs and potentially 3 ofs if you include uniques will give you the benefit. And we are getting very close to end of day. We are basically 1 minute away. Leah Rising already past their timeline, with Marble having 2 minutes available to them. The balance of that means there's just 1 minute left in gameplay, and we'll be able to get to see the ending here. But it is looking very difficult for Leah Rising to get the win. Not impossible. Once again, you don't know. You could have a hunger that absolutely crushes everything, but Trace and Rossum still has the ability of using their ability, right? And paying something out for 1. Now, I don't think the 3 cards they've got, I don't give them a card presence there. Playing out, Leah Rising choosing to play out the Haven Seringa on the companion side, really just looking to see if they can match anything. Frozen Delivery is going to get them a very slow play win, but we will see how it gets played out. Once again, Marble choosing not to activate Trace and Rossum at the moment. Rage, okay, getting the double boost, not bad. And that means that they can play Rage out again, depending on what card comes out. Yes, they're not getting the benefits of the Bravos Bastion. Leah Rising is not. It's a question of, now, rough choice here. Okay, getting out the Mighty Jin. Oh, it looks like game over. It will be game over. GGs are going to get played in just a second. Haven Seringa will be taken out. You do get a chance to draw, so do you get something with 1 cost, but it's not going to be enough. Nothing with 1 cost is going to give you the value that you need, which is 2-4-4. Passes are happening there. Congratulations to Marble, who gets the win, and we will get ourselves back. So really, really good job. Again, from myself and from Nick, who run A Hero's Guide to Asgartha, we are incredibly grateful for the community and what you provide us, giving us a chance to enjoy this game, to cast this game, to talk about this game on a podcast. My ask is that you join us both on our podcast and on our YouTube channel. We would love the likes, we would love the contribution. But as we are making our way and we close up for the day, I do want to say there's 1 game still going. Actually, there's a couple of games still going. Let me go through. It should actually say that some of these games are completed. Let me go through here. Last one is, let's see if we can make our way here. So I'll go back onto this screen. And it looks like El Wiwi against Tet de Totem, both some of the stronger teams. I think Tet de Totem had the highest elo of all the players that were available, and we will see what ends up happening here. We are seeing a sleep. No cards in hand from El Wiwi. Still getting the progression. 8-8-10. Looks like the game is over. Good games are coming out. El Wiwi gets the win. First time, I think, in a while in our tournament. So congratulations there for us and for him to get that. Unfortunately for Tate de Totem not getting the win there. I do want to just go very quickly to watch who we have as our winners, and I will be reaching out to you on BGA, just so you're aware. For the uniques, my goal is to give them to you on BGA. I will do it in a chat, a private chat between you and me. That way I make sure that you get that. And in terms of where we are, we have finished all the tournaments. So there are 3 players. Marble getting the win, 3. So as well as AGT's El Wiwi, Overloss getting 3. Leah Rising, I know your 4th position. I will present all 4 for the uniques. If it gets rejected by Equinox, because this is the first time we've had someone not get 3-3-3 of players, then it will become 4 for Marble, 3 for El Wiwi, and 3 for Overloss. But I will confirm that I do have to get an understanding from Equinox in terms of how they will be doing that. Normally, they have told me they have to be undefeated players. So because you've got 2 and 1, you're not getting it, and that's because MLD skipped 1, and that would have been the 3rd player in that case. So we'll figure it out. I'll find out how they're going to do that, and I'll let the community know. Once again, we ask for patience because we are learning this as we go, as we transition to this new way, but we are incredibly excited to be able to give these uniques out. Thank you, everyone that's joined us, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.